Good evening, everybody. It is Charlie, and welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a great Wednesday so far. Just before we get into it, as always, please make sure that you are smashing that like. It really does help get the video out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new, and hit the notification bell so that you're always aware of when I am uploading and going live. And of course, get all of your thoughts, all of your opinions. We need as much interaction tonight as possible, as we are going to delve into Leeds United's last 7 fixtures. We're going to be discussing how many points we think we're going to get, and ultimately if the amount of points we accrue is going to be enough to get us automatically promoted as well. So like I say, guys, please make sure that you're liking, commenting and subscribing, and we will get into it in just a second. I can see that Julie's in the building. Evening, how we doing? Who's feeling positive? I'm trying to, but remember last season too well. Really not sure, but still hoping. Yeah, I'm exactly the same, Julie. I think after Sheffield United, I was over the moon. I was on top of the world. Life was good. But in recent weeks, in recent games, we've kind of come back down to earth a little bit, which, you know, it is a shame. It is a real shame given the position that we were in. But this is Leeds United at the end of the day, and we like to make things hard for ourselves, don't we? So yeah, is what it is. Is what it is. Okay. Matt is saying, I just want us to play this week. I have changed from we will go up to we will bottle it like 1 million times. Yeah, Matt, if I'm honest with you, mate, I'm flip-flopping every day. There's times when I'm thinking, you know what, yes, we are okay. But then again, I thought that we would be okay for the Swansea game, and that didn't go down too well. Joe Blackburn's in the comments. First off, congrats on your anniversary for July 2nd. Damn you and your July anniversary. Yeah, I do apologise, Joe. I was asked to take part in the Leeds Content Creators Cup, but unfortunately, it's mine and the missus' anniversary that weekend, and we have plans for it. So, and it's plans that I can't cancel, unfortunately. So yeah, I do really apologise, but I hope that that event goes well. There's a lot of creators involved, guys. So if you haven't already, go and check out Joe Blackburn's YouTube or his Twitter or any of his socials, and I'm sure you'll find out all of the information there. But appreciate you dropping by, Joe. Thank you for that, mate. So yeah, look, before we get into the actual games and how we think we're going to go, obviously I haven't been live for a while. I've had issues with my internet. I do apologise, guys. Believe me, it's been of huge frustration to me as well. So don't worry about it. Yeah, the recent form's not great, is it? It isn't. And you know, you'll have seen on my uploads over the last few days post Swansea that as I was just saying to Matt there, you know, I'm not in the best headspace at the minute when it comes to Leeds United. I am changing my mind every minute, every hour, and it's not a good place to be at the minute. You know, post Sheffield United, 5 points clear of Sheffield United, 7 points clear of Burnley, who were third at the time, and within the space of a few games, that gap has now gone. We're now 2 points behind Sheffield United, and we are only in the top 2 on goal difference as we are now level with Burnley. So, yeah, not great. I think the performances haven't been great for a while, which again is a worry. People kind of forget that in the Sunderland and Sheffield United games, we didn't play well for the majority of those games, but we managed to grind them out, which, yeah, on the nights were absolutely amazing. But when you look back now, the performances weren't great. And, the West Brom game at home wasn't great either. Then we followed that up with getting beat by Portsmouth. The draw with QPR as well. And then obviously the draw the other day against Swansea, which was literally a minute, 30 seconds away from being a win. Would the mood have been different if we'd have got that over the line? Absolutely. But that's just football. The Luton game, obviously, we'll get into it briefly in a bit when we discuss the final 7 games, but I was confident of the Luton game before Saturday. Now I'm not so sure, which is a shame. Farke's got to make some very big decisions now. Very, very big. The main one being Illan Meslier. I get both sides to it. I get why people maybe don't want him out, because if you throw Carl Darlow in, for example, with 7 games to go, that's a huge risk at a crucial point of the season. Darlow's not played regular first-team football for a few years now. Yes, he's played for Wales, but it's not regular. It's not every few days, every week. So I get that it would be a risk, but in my opinion, it is a risk worth taking. Nothing, and I've said it on uploads the last few days, I refuse to believe that Carl Darlow or Alex Cairns, for that matter, are any worse than Illan Meslier, or as I like to call him, El Bagel, French hologram, biscuit wrist, crisp packet, you name it. The guy's an absolute liability. If that Swansea game the other day was just an isolated incident and they'd not done anything else this season, you could look at it and go, well, all right, fine. It can happen to goalkeepers. It can just have one of those games, whatever, move on from it. But it isn't just that, is it? There's that clip that's done the rounds over the last few days. I'm sure everyone's seen it. All 27 goals that Leeds United have conceded, I put between 12 and 14 at his door. And that's been very, very, very generous. The amount of points I think he's cost us is around 13. Even if you say Leeds could have had 8 or 9 extra points out of those 13, we'd be well clear and we would be well on our way to automatic promotion if it wasn't for him. Now, obviously, partial blame goes to Illan Meslier because it's him that's in goal, it's him that's causing these errors or having these errors. But a lot of the blame does go on Daniel Farke as well for picking him. I don't get why he's so blindsided when it comes to Illan Meslier, but yet he's willing to call out Tanaka for the ball that he played out of touch, which, yeah, fair play. It was an error of judgment from Tanaka. But again, that can happen to certain players in certain games, can't it? Daniel Farke, for me, has to be taking the majority of the criticism because only one man can pick the team. Only one man is responsible for that, and that is Daniel Farke. So, yeah. Anyway, Paul saying, evening, mate, getting that Leedsy feeling again. Yep, you and me both, pal. Matt's again saying, just keep it close because one of them will drop points when they play each other. Exactly. We just need to try and keep doing our business now because ultimately, on Easter Monday, either one of them or both of them will drop points. And obviously, who we want to drop points. If one of them is to drop points, we will know who we want to drop points on that day, won't we? Given how far the gap is, if we've beaten Stoke because we play before them because they kick off at 5:30 that day. So I think Easter Monday will be very telling for how this season finishes for Leeds United. I really do. David's saying you look better. Cheers, mate. I try my best. Pleased to see that you are thriving again. Cheers, mate. You're spot on with your analysis. Farke was lucky a few times when he was at Norwich. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. And I think, the expectation at Norwich compared to the expectation that's at Leeds, it's incomparable, is it? Paul's saying top scorers in the division, second best defence in the league, but yet diabolical. Exactly. And the defence is looking shaky at times, probably because they're scared of what's behind them and they know what's behind them. Most keepers, if they make a blunder, right, the outfield players will go straight up to them, will pat them on the back, tell them it's all right, let's get at it, whatever. When the first one happened the other day, the one that he dropped from the corner, they all just turned away and just walked off. Joe Rodon gave him a look as if to say, what on earth are you doing? Joe Rodon hates him, by the way. I don't care what anybody says. Joe Rodon does not rate him, does not trust him. If there's one player who doesn't, it's Joe Rodon. Junior Firpo was quite animated when that second equaliser went in at the death. Nonto, given the fact he'd come on, he'd scored what he thought was the winner, what everybody thought was the winner. He was animated. Tanaka looked like he'd seen a ghost. This is becoming too regular now. Sunderland, Hull, Swansea, Portsmouth on the opening day, Portsmouth away, the Norwich penalty that they scored at Carrow Road, the West Brom game at home. You could put a lot of goals at Illan Mellier's door, but it's if Daniel Farke has got the bollocks to make the biggest decision of the season for me. And it is. It would be the biggest decision of the season. Let's be honest. It would. The way we are playing it. Well, I mean, let's hope not, David. If we can turn it around, then hopefully we've got more of a chance. And by the way, guys, if you would like a Chatting Leeds mug, shameless plug. If you would like a Chatting Leeds mug, drop me a DM on Twitter or Instagram, whichever is easiest for you. Or even if you just write it in the comments, I will reach out to you and I will put you in touch with just the man that can help you with it. But, yeah. BMG is saying, I'd say Mez was 100% culpable for the Sunderland, Hull and Swansea goals. Preston and Pompey first game were not as bad, but poor. There were 3 or 4 matches. It was about 10 points. Exactly. 10 points is being very generous, BMG. Very generous. But yeah, again, it's subjective, but I think we could all agree on definitely a few games this season that Illan Mellier has cost us points. And I just don't understand why he's persisting with him. Now, it isn't just him. He definitely needs to rotate in other areas as well. Brendan Aronson needs to get gone. What does he offer to the team? Absolutely F all, in my opinion. I think Solomon's not been great for the last few games. I think he could do with a breather. Dan James looks knackered. I think Tanaka needs to come back in from the start. Firpo needs to come back in from the start on Saturday against Luton. Is he going to rotate out wide? If he's to drop one of them, I would personally drop Solomon at the minute. I think Dan James, just what he can give you with his pace alone, is a huge threat. So I would keep Dan James on the right. I'd put Laji Ramazani on the left. I'd put Nonto in the 10 and Joel Perot up top with Ethan Ampadu if he's fit. If not, then Rothwell and Tanaka. And then the usual back 4. And I would pray for Carl Darlow in goal. But do we realistically think that Farke is going to drop Mellier? I mean, hit me up in the comments section, guys. Will Farke drop Illan Mellier, yes or no, in your opinion? I think he should, but I don't think he will. I really don't think he will, which is bad. The front line is a worry with goals. Pros 1 in 7. Also, DJ and Solomon haven't been scoring non-toss to start. Okay. I respect your opinion there, Matt. I agree kind of with the Perot, James and Solomon comment there, but to put in Patrick Bamford, who hasn't played in, I can't remember how long, I wouldn't be doing that, mate. But again, each to their own. Each to their own. Farker had ample opportunity to use Nonto and especially Largy and Schmidt more earlier in the season. Now they won't be ready for a tough run in and starters are overworked. He's created this. Yep, completely agree with that. Completely agree with every aspect of that comment. Gavin's in the building, evening, mate. I'd go to Naka and Gruev for Luton. Ampadu nowhere near ready. Yeah, he wasn't nowhere near ready on Saturday. I agree. Hopefully, with another week's training and a week's, kind of rest and recuperation as well. If he is more fit, I would play Ampadu, especially away from home. But I do kind of get where you're coming from if Ampadu isn't fit with Gruev just to add that defensive stability. But for me, again, each to their own. But my opinion would be to have Rothwell and Tanaka if Ampadu isn't fit. If Ampadu's fit, I would play him. To say, isn't Millier's fault he has been put in the fight? Yeah, I understand. Kind of is Mellier's fault because he's the one doing it, but then I understand. Farker is hanging him out to dry, really, isn't it, Dave? He is. He is. And that's why I'm putting a lot of the blame at Farker's door. Because if he continues to play him from now till the end of the season, it is a Fark problem then. And I won't even discuss the fact that it's Mellier's fault. If this keeps happening and he doesn't drop him, there's only one man to blame, isn't there? Gruev is our most underrated player. Okay, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. All Fark needed to do was rotate those players. He only started using Tanaka and 100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is right. We need an ugly 1-0 win. Ampadu too risky, in my opinion. Yeah, I can understand that. I can. After his display the other day, I can fully appreciate that. I can. Which is why Rothwell and Tanaka would be my preferred midfield if Ampadu isn't fit. He only puts Ampadu in if he's 100% now for me. But I think that the other day taught him that you can't just rush him back. You just can't. Ampadu's clearly not match fit. Was that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, enough about recent events. Let's discuss the future. 7 games remaining, guys. 7. Yeah. I'm just going to share my screen with you. If you just bear with me a second. Just so we can... There we go. Hopefully you can all see that. Yeah. I'm just making sure my screen hasn't stuck there, guys. So, let me just zoom in a little bit. Right, so you can see that. Right, okay. Okay. Right, so Luton Town away on Saturday, yeah. So get it in the comments, guys. Get it in the section below. Are Leeds United going to win on Saturday? Hit me up in the comments section. Will Leeds United get 3 points on Saturday? Let me know in the comments. In my opinion, I do think we'll win. I think it'll be a really scrappy, horrible game to watch. But I do think we'll just get it over the line. I think we'll just have too much for them. I would like to think. They're in the bottom 3. And again, they have picked a bit of form up recently, granted. But again, I remember them at Ellen Road earlier on in the season. We absolutely battered them. So yeah, I do think we'll win. I'm not going to give you a score prediction. I'll think about that for my preview on Friday. But Gavin's saying that we will win 2-1. Again, yeah, kind of probably where I'll end up going, Gav, in fairness to you, pal. yeah, yeah, it'll be a scrappy, ugly game. I think. I really do think that. BMG saying we really have to win. Yeah, absolutely. And Gavin's saying Fark under big pressure now. But yeah, exactly. That is right. Obviously, the financial situation's all out in the open now. Leeds United need to get promoted. We've known this all season, just from a financial standpoint, but even more so now. Right, so I'll keep a note of this just as we go through. Bear with me a second. So we've got Luton win. Right, okay. Then we've got Middlesbrough away on the midweek Tuesday night. Do we get 3 points away at the Riverside Stadium? This one for me is a potential banana skin. Probably on paper, aside from Bristol City, probably the most difficult game we've got left. They absolutely despise us, but then again, which team doesn't? I'll be honest, guys, and I'm just being completely realistic here. I think we draw. I think we draw at the Riverside, which again could mean that we drop third. If it does, it does. It's a bit of a tricky ground for us, is the Riverside. Yes, we won there last season, but 4-3. It was a back and forth game, horrible to watch. We only just got it over the line. Hopefully, we do this time. Absolutely. Just get comments up. BMG saying the hope is that we go on another great run. Yeah, exactly. That is the hope, isn't it? And hopefully that can happen. Gavin saying Borough, very funny side, can be a good or bad night. Hard call. Yeah, but like I said, guys, hit me up in the comments. Hit me up in the comment section now. Will we win at Middlesbrough? Are you confident? I'm going with a draw. Away at Middlesbrough. Last season I felt staying down was a blessing in disguise because we weren't ready. This season we could be more prepared. Yeah, exactly. I do think the squad's a lot better this season. Don't get me wrong. I think it would mean massive upgrades should we get promoted. But that's a topic for another video. Gavin's going with another 2-1 away win for Leeds United. Great stuff. I love the optimism. Borough, a draw would not be terrible. No, I don't. I really don't think it would. Even if we end up third, I still don't think that's a bad result. So yeah, I'm going with a draw away at Borough. So that's 4 points so far. Then we head into another early kickoff at home. This time to Preston North End. A game in which we did draw last time out at Deepdale. I think Mateo Joseph, I think it ended up as an own goal, but Joseph claimed it at the time, so we'll claim it for him now. Joseph getting the late equaliser, very late equaliser, probably at last kick of the game to get Leeds United a point. Awful game, horrible game. They should have had a man sent off. The referee was poor that day, but we came away from Deepdale with a point. I think we win this game. I do, and I think we'll win it fairly comfortably as well. And Gavin is going with a 2-0 win to the Whites. Yeah, I would go along with that. I think, mate, I do think we'll win. David's saying if we improve with form, yes, otherwise, no. Okay. And do you think we'll finish that? Do you think if we finish third, we will go up? Ooh. That's the $1 million question. That's a question I can't really answer right now. I think I could probably answer that if we finish third prior to the playoffs starting. I don't even want to think about finishing third yet because there's too much football left to be played. Guys, there's 17 of you in the building. Please make sure that you're smashing that like if you're watching on YouTube, and make sure you're following the page if you're watching on Instagram. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the notification bell, comments, all that jazz. I'm really thankful that there's 17 of you in the building this evening. Really do appreciate it. So with Preston, I think the majority of us would agree that will be a home win for Leeds United. Even BMG is going with a win. So that's good. So far that is 7 points out of a possible 9, which isn't bad, to be fair. And then we get into a tasty weekend, Easter weekend. First off on Good Friday away at Oxford, which has now been moved to the late kickoff of 8 p.m. I get why people might think that this is a banana skin, but I have confidence that we win this game. I really do think we'll win. So again, hit me up in the comments section, guys. Oxford away. What are your thoughts? Do we get a win? Do we draw? Or God forbid, do we get beat? BMG saying hate to say it, but we should have enough to win the playoffs if it comes to that. Yeah, I agree, but it's just Leeds playoffs just doesn't really work, does it? Leeds saying a 3-0 win to the Whites, which is amazing. I mean, you are being quite measured, aren't you, mate? To be fair, you are being quite measured in how it is you're speaking, which I agree with by far. But I'm kind of glad that we've got some realism in this chat as well. Gavin, are you saying a 1-0 win to Leeds there, or are you going with 1-0 Oxford? PMG is going 3-0 Oxford. Brilliant. Brilliant. So yeah, I think we beat Oxford personally. I really do. So yeah. Then we go in to Stoke at home on Easter Monday. Now, this could be a very, very decisive day in the Championship season. Obviously, we're at home to Stoke, fairly mediocre fixture. But also that night, after we've played, Burnley host Sheffield United at the Turf Moor. Now, I know we've not touched upon Burnley and Sheffield United's fixtures in this, but just as like a bonus question for everybody, who do you think wins between Burnley and Sheffield United? So we'll come to that after, but Stoke at home. Yeah, I think that'll be a win as well. I do. I think Stoke are a bit hit and miss. Obviously, they've got Mark Robbins now, and we know they'll be well coached and they'll come to try and frustrate Leeds United. But I think we'll just get that one over the line. I think it'll be quite a scrappy game, but I do think we'll just get that one over the line. BMG agrees as well with a 1-0 win. Gavin is saying 2-1 to Leeds. Fair enough. BMG is also saying that Burnley, either a Burnley 1-0 win or a draw. Gavin is saying Burnley will beat the Blunts. So people are saying Burnley, and I'm along the lines of BMG. I think it'll either be a Burnley narrow win or it'll be a draw. I can't see Sheffield United going to Turf Moor and beating Burnley. I just can't. So we'll go with a draw there between Burnley and the Blades. David's saying we're in the playoffs in a fortnight. That's it. Okay, fair enough. Lee's saying 2-1 late winner against Stoke. Brilliant. So then we head into our final home game of the season, which is against Bristol City. Very tough team. I know obviously Burnley beat them, but only just. They got a draw at Bramall Lane. They'll be pushing for that for the playoff spot, which according to David will be playing Bristol City in the playoffs if they get there. I think this will be a draw, guys. Personally, I do. I think they're a good side. I think they'll come and frustrate us quite well. There'll be a lot of tension in Ellen Road that day, and I think that will feed onto the pitch, which is why I'm going with a draw that day. Gavin's saying a win. BMG is saying 9-0. Is that measured enough? Yeah, that's fairly measured, mate. Fairly measured. So yeah, I'm saying actually 1-0 Leeds or 2-0. Yeah, so I think we'll draw that one personally. Yeah. And then we go to home park on the final day, which, hopefully it doesn't come to the final day. But if it does, that game will be heightened in ways that you can't even imagine. I would like to think that we get the job done regardless of what it means for our season. I think we'll beat Plymouth on the final day, and I think we'll beat them quite comfortably, especially if maybe we're already up or the pressure's off us, at least. I do think we'll win. So hit me up in the comments, guys. 19 of you in the building. Get your comments in. Will Leeds United beat Plymouth on the final day of the championship season? Like I say, guys, hit me up. Let me know. BMG is saying a 3-1 Leeds United win. Going saying 2-0. So yeah, I think we're saying yes, got to. Yeah, right. Okay. So just to clarify then, what I've got written in front of me here is I've got a win against Luton, a draw against Middlesbrough, wins against Preston, Oxford and Stoke, a draw with Bristol City, and then a win with Plymouth Argyle. So that is 17 points out of a possible 21 remaining, which would put Leeds United on 98 points to finish the season on. Now, again, this is all just to get your guys' feelings on where you're at mentally at the minute going into these last 7 games. Before people come at me, I'm not saying that all of my predictions and all of your predictions in the chat are going to happen, because they probably won't. Some of them might, but some of them won't. But let's say all my predictions there happen and we finish on 98 points. Is that enough to get Leeds United over the line? For me, it has to be. It's inconceivable to me that 98 points would mean we finish third. That would mean that Burnley and Sheffield United would have to go on unbelievable runs, both win every single game respectively. Now, we know that they both can't win every game because they've got to play each other. So in my opinion, there might be weeks, like especially after the Borough game, if we did draw that game, we may end up third at points during this run-in. But 98 points has to get us up, especially, as Leah's saying here, with our goal difference. So, 98 points, guys, simply has to. It just has to get Leeds United up automatically. It just has to. We need 7 wins a week after ourselves. Gav, I think you've predicted a win for every game that we've just discussed there, pal, which, again, I love the optimism, and I wish that was going to be the case, but I don't think it will be. It wouldn't surprise me if we lost one more game before the end of the season, but, aside from them playing each other, Burnley and Sheffield United will drop points. That they have to. And I do think they'll drop points before they play each other. I do. At least one of them will. Burnley have got Coventry this week at Coventry. Now, I know Coventry didn't play well at all at Bramall Lane on Friday night, which was so frustrating. But then again, they didn't play well against us when we played them at their own place. But, hopefully they have a better performance. And, even if they just draw with Burnley, that would be massive for us. If we can beat Luton, get a bit of a gap. You know, it might only be a couple of points, but just that little bit of a gap will be good. It's not impossible that Burnley pass our goal difference. I don't think they will, mate. I really don't. Who's in goal Saturday? That is the $1 million question. Obviously, it's the press conference tomorrow, isn't it? Probably the most eagerly anticipated pre-match presser of the season by a country mile. Be interesting to see what questions get asked and how he answers them. He's definitely going to get asked about Meslier, 100%, and I'll be listening with very interested ears. Burnley will definitely get a few more. Yeah, they will, and so will Sheffield United. And I think we can all agree. I think most likely outcome when they play each other is that it's a draw. So this season we've got 15 points from 5 games and then 6 points from 5 games. Which version of us will turn up? Again, $1 million question, isn't it, BMG? $1 million question. But we'll bring it to a close there, guys. Like I say, we've been going for nearly 40 minutes now. Really do appreciate all of the love, all of the support, all the engagement in the chat tonight. It's been great to see some new names in the chat, sharing all of your thoughts and opinions, which really does help get the video out there to more people. If you haven't already, please make sure that you're liking the video as well. And shameless plug, but if you would like a Chatting Leeds mug, hit me up in the DMs on Instagram or Twitter, whichever you use more, and I'll get you in touch with the right guy for that. Like I say, 22 of you in the building at the minute. Really good numbers for this Wednesday evening. I do appreciate you stopping by. Like I say, guys, there will be a predicted 11/press conference reaction video out on the channel tomorrow, followed by your preview for Luton on Friday. And then there'll be plenty of content over the weekend as well. Hopefully get some guests on, or a guest on, hopefully, at least. So yeah, make sure you're keeping it locked at Chatting Leeds. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers.